Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of the Family Health Show. This is True Temperance International joining you, and hopefully you'll be able to hear me, and I'm not mute, and I'm not just talking to myself. So thank you for joining us today on my sofa, on wherever you are joining from. It could be morning time for you. It could be the afternoon. It could be the evening. It could be in the middle of a meal. I don't know. And some of you are joining us on YouTube. So thank you for coming along and spending some time with us. We have an exciting time ahead and very educational, because I know when my sister is on the other end, the Lord is giving her power and she is going to share some gems with us today. Okay, I know we will not be disappointed. Thank you. Who else has just joined us? Veronica, thank you for joining us, and everybody else. We're so glad to have you with us today. So your hosts today are...
Hello everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Charlene, for those who don't know me, but those who's been on this journey with TTI, you should know my name. But welcome to you all.
Indeed, you should know Charlene's name. And then obviously there's me. And today you have tuned in to you wouldn't believe it, but it's actually springtime now. It's freezing in the UK, at least. I mean, I think they've got snow in further north than where we live. So yeah, snow in spring. I mean, I've heard of snowdrops, but I mean, really, this is crazy. But yes, it is springtime, and today we are going to help you to spring into action, whatever the weather. We are going to spring into action with lots of boundless energy. And our lovely presenter is my dear sister and friend, well, sister in Christ, of course, and but she's like a sister, really, Joan Cornwall. To me and to Charlene, she's closer than a sister.
My mother.
There you go. Okay, and Joan is going to get us through what it means to spring into action today. So if you didn't know, today is the 2nd. Is it the 2nd of March? It is. It really doesn't feel like it. Today is the 2nd of March. Last time, what happened?
Last time on the TTI show, we had Brother Scott.
It's on the screen.
Really? Oh, yeah, it's there, down the bottom. Brother Scott with us, and he was talking about herbs that was good for us during the winter months. And although this presentation was to do with spring and starting off with it, you probably can just continue this winter wellness with the herbs this month as well, because it's cold and it feels still like winter. But Brother Scott was with us last month talking about what herbs are good for us to keep our immune system boosted, keep it up. So that's, and if you didn't watch that one last month, it is on our YouTube channel, True Temperance International. But there was a challenge, and Sharon, you will have to explain the challenge, please.
Okay, so during the presentation, Scott was talking a lot about many different herbs, and he kept saying this thing about poke root, and people are like, poke root? What's poke root? What is he saying? And so, yes, it was poke root. And I was informed by one of our viewers that poke root is available in the UK. And so I said, right, the challenge is, because I didn't know what it looked like. So the challenge was to find out what it looked like, find out how you can get it, and share that information. And we did have a viewer on, Carol, from our parts of the UK, from Nottingham, and she shared with me the information. So that was the challenge. But it wasn't just, to share personally with me. It was put out there for more people to come up with information about poke weed, because you can use the leaf and the root, and share with us how to use it. And we only had that one offer. So thank you, Carol. Thank you so much. But it's still out there. So if anybody has used pokeweed, also known as Phytolacca americana, then maybe you've used it before and you can share with us what you've used it for. But Brother Scott did a great job of telling us how to use it and what it's good for. But maybe somebody else knows as well. So yeah, please share on our different groups, on our Telegram groups. And if you're on the WhatsApp group, then yes, you can share there as well. So that was last time. We also do have a True Temperance International Instagram and Facebook page. So that is there if you wish to engage. If you're into social media and you like that, then you can engage, you can share, you can like, you can comment, you can interact with us that way. And we also do have our website currently as well. Shelley.
So next month, on the TTI Family Health Show, we will have Louise Reed from Mercy's Door, and hopefully, by God's grace, April will feel more like spring, and she will be taking us through some steps when it comes to building our immune system and also cleansing our bodies. So it's like you know how some people will clean their house, it's like spring cleaning. It's like spring cleaning our bodies. So that's what she will be doing. So please invite your friends and families, neighbors, colleagues, whoever you would like to come along. Okay, so we have our third UK Health Conference, Come Apart and Rest a While 2024. So this is Monday, the 26th of August to Sunday, the 1st of September. So the early bird special is gone because that was in December. But we have got a new flyer around the place circulating, which will have some of the presenters at the top, such as Pastor Sam and Tonya Jackson from America, Brother Scott from America,
Marcia Mendoza.
That's it, Marcia Mendoza, talking about herbalism. Brother Godfrey and
Robert Hines.
And Robert Hines, that's it. And Brother Robert Hines doing some practical when it comes to country living. So please book to avoid disappointment, because there was quite a few people disappointed last year. And if you don't want that, please book this year early on time, because it is booking up. And yes, right now we have en-suites and a few en-suites, and we have
standard
chalets left.
Yeah, sorry about that. I forgot to update this slide. I just saw it then, just said, yeah, we got the poster, that's fine. But so do forgive me. We do have a more up-to-date slide, which will be at the end of the show. We'll share that one with you. And up-to-date poster, that is, sorry. And there was something else I was going to say, but I can't remember. It's gone from me now. But anyway, we do look forward to having you there with us. There will be other presenters who aren't necessarily on the poster, because we're going to be having workshops throughout. We'll have children's workshops, we'll have adult workshops, and God willing, we'll be having teens workshops as well. So there's plenty for everybody to come along and get involved, and we'll also be doing exercise and everything else. We hope to share the video with you just before Joan speaks. And let's see what's next. So yes, save the date video. We'll have our disclaimer and then the video and whatever comes next on the slide.
Okay, so TTI disclaimer. Only a professional health practitioner can diagnose or treat medical conditions. Any information discussed on the True Temperance International Family Health Show is for educational and informational purposes only. Please continue to seek professional medical advice from your GP or health practitioner regarding any disease you may be suffering from.
Thank you, Charlene. So yes, so if you didn't know, you have joined us on our True Temperance International Family Health Show, and there's a little bit of info about our website. So yeah, that's who we are. And yep, you can join us on our social media. Along with that, we have other ways that you can stay in touch with us, because we know not everybody's in to social media. And so we have our Telegram groups. We have the Women's Wellness Group, so you can stay in touch with us on there. There's the URL. I believe that's what you call it. So that's there on the bottom of the screen. We also have the Men's Wellness Group, which you can see there is a URL there. So if you're male or female, if you can join the relevant group and stay in touch. And we also have our Spiritual Health Group. And we share information on there. We share encouraging devotionals. And if there's any spiritual presentations that individuals would like to share, there's the time. If there's any prayer requests, you can put them there. We can pray for you, or we can pray together. And we also promote on there our Bible studies, the Friday evening Bible studies, which are currently hosted by Chris Higgins, who is part of True Temperance International. And if you have been joining those and really enjoying them, you can meet Chris in the flesh at Kefin Lee this year, because he will be one of our presenters as well. So yes, please stay in touch with us as best you can. So there you have the Remnant Connection Book Club, which is on a Friday, not every Friday, but we do post on the Spiritual Health Group which Fridays the Bible studies will be on. And last night we were looking at, was it chapter 26?
I didn't manage to go on yesterday.
Yeah, I think it's chapter 26.
Yeah, 26. The next time we'll be on 27.
Thank you, Claudia. I saw your name on there. So thank you for stepping up and unmuting. Really appreciate that. So yes, so the very lively discussions. And if there's anyone who's thinking, I really don't understand these Ellen White books. I really don't understand the great controversy. I mean, I get some of it. Listen, we really do make it come alive, and you can ask your questions. No questions too silly. Everything is, we accept every question. It doesn't matter if you're where you are in your spiritual journey. We accept you all and we welcome you. So please join us along this journey. It's brilliant. We tend to go over time a little bit, but we are trying with the temperance because it's so great. It's so exciting. So yeah, join us along on there. And that's the end of the screen share. So Edgar, if you're available to help me with the video, just to promote Kefin Lee. Is it that? No, it's not that. Okay, Shirley, while we're doing that, is there anything you would like to share?
Not really. I think quite a lot was covered, but I know that people are going, it's going around, it's circulating in terms of colds and the flu. And well, my children had it last week and it wasn't a good week at all. But we thank God for seeing us through. But we'll just do some recap. Some of the remedies that I did for the children, they had like the onion syrup, but we added garlic and ginger in there. And their coughs at night, oh, it was it was frustrating. But yeah, it is what it is with their cough. But just rubbing them down, giving them a nice massage, especially with some oils, helped them a lot. And yeah, no coughing at night. I can actually sleep right through now.
Did you use oregano oil for the children to help with their coughing, or was that a bit too strong for them?
No, they don't like it.
Okay,
they don't like it.
What did you use for your cough?
My cough, for me, personally, I use my oregano. I felt a little tickle because, you know, children give you colds, they'll pass it on. I felt a little tickle and I says, no, 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 no. So I took 1 drop of my oregano and a little bit of water, and I took that twice. And yeah, I was all right. I was fine.
Praise God.
So we thank God for his remedies. For his
Indeed. Right, we're ready to share the screen for the Kefin Lee video. Hopefully you can all see that.
Yes, yeah, we can, Sharon.
Kefenly is back, a week-long conference in the beautiful countryside of Wales, full of teaching, preaching and healing. Healthy and nutritious meals can also be purchased throughout the week. You're getting 2 meals a day, so you don't have to worry or stress about cooking your meals. You can fully relax and enjoy your week, and also get fed. During your stay, there'll also be a daily pop-up shop where people can present and sell their stuff, showcase their small businesses to everyone there. Being in the countryside, there'll also be opportunities for walks, runs, and let's not forget the beautiful views. There'll also be cooking demos so that you can learn new recipes, share it with your friends, your family, take it back home, and also learn healthier ways to cook your favourite foods. The week will also entail workshops full of teaching, healing, and preaching. And we also have children workshops as well, so bring the whole family along. It is a family conference. We welcome all. We also have morning and evening services led by our speakers throughout the week, such as Andre Crawford, Sam Davies, and much more. There will also be opportunity for prayers and testimonies so that everyone can come together as a family and encourage one another throughout their health journeys. And I can't forget to mention the beautiful music that we experienced throughout the whole week. It was divine. So, you're probably thinking,
When and where is it? I need to book some time off work.
It's taking place in the beautiful countryside of Wales at Kefenly from the 26th of August to the 1st of September. So make sure to book your places now to get them early bird prices, share with friends and family, and we can't wait to see you there.
There we go. So if you haven't booked yet and you're still thinking I'm in an hour and deciding, don't wait too long, because we don't want you to be disappointed. We'd love for everybody who wants to come to be able to come. So that is there, and we do have the more up-to-date poster, which we will share, has been shared on the different groups, and we will share at the end of today's presentation. So Charlene, if there's anything you'd like to say before everybody sits back and relaxes, and no, she's shaking her head. So please feel free to sit back, relax. In fact, before Sister Joan goes in, should we give her some questions just to relax everybody, and so we can get to know, if this is your first time meeting Joan. So Joan, if you could. There we go. She's in a much warmer place than I am. I can see the sun coming through the window. But hey, my time will come. Don't know when, don't know how, but it will. So Joan, lovely to have you on here with us.
Hi, Sharon, and hi, everyone.
Hi. It's okay. Where you are is a much warmer place, as we said. And I'm going to ask you, what is your favorite fruit, or what's your easiest fruit to get hold of, and which one's your favorite?
Where we are, the easiest fruit to get hold of is papaya.
What is it actually in the garden?
We have 2 trees.
Oh wow!
Two papaya trees. Yeah.
Now I know papaya is really good for you, but I don't particularly like it because I think the seeds can be a bit because I've been told it's really good to eat the seeds. They can be a little bit hot, almost peppery.
Yeah, if you are because the normal black pepper that people use as a condiment for their food can be harmful for the stomach. But the papaya, what it does, it gives you the peppery feeling when you dry the seeds of the papaya. So people use that as an alternative pepper. So they dry the seeds and grind it, and then it's like a pepper.
Okay, I never thought about that. So yeah, there you go. It's better for you. And Samantha has also said that the seeds from the papaya is good for parasites, for cleaning and getting rid of parasites.
You can eat all of the papaya. I wouldn't say the tree because you wouldn't want to be eating the bark and the trunk. But what I mean is the leaves and the papaya and the seeds. And the papaya tree, from planting it for it to start growing only takes 11 months.
Okay.
Yeah,
When you've got
11 months.
when you've got good warm
When
sunshine
you've got
and
the hot
yeah,
weather, yeah.
and the rain.
And the papaya leaves are used for you know, for cleansing your body, and it's also I don't, you know, remember I said, you know, there's a disclaimer, but it's actually very good in preventing cancer. The
Wow.
papaya itself. So
Wow.
you can go online and purchase papaya leaves, and if you Google papaya, the benefits of papaya, you're going to be astounded as to the number of benefits from the papaya, the actual papaya fruit and papaya leaves and the papaya seeds. Yeah.
Well, we're on YouTube here now, and so customs might be listening in. So just be careful on your way back.
It's yeah, so papaya is easy to get hold of, and
What's your
green banana,
favorite?
yeah, and green bananas, excellent. We have quite a few green banana trees, and in the week we made smoothie with our own homegrown bananas and our own homegrown papaya. That's how we made our smoothie.
Okay,
I don't want to make anyone jealous. I'm sorry. I'm starting to see the countenance is changing, but it is what it is.
It's great. It's great.
I'm just telling you how lovely it is to be able to plant things in the garden. You know, with watermelon, we've got 2
Okay.
watermelon plants, and so we're growing watermelon as well.
Okay, great. Wonderful, wonderful. So you've got the water and you've got wonderful. So one other thing though, what is your favorite fruit to have whilst you're out there?
Guava is lovely, and grapefruit. Guava is amazing. Oh my gosh, guava is delicious. We've got a guava tree, but it's not bearing fruit yet. But one of Errol's good friends, we just happened to bump into him when we was walking, and he's got a big guava tree, and they gave us a bag full of guava from his tree. It was delicious. It was delicious. So we made like an ice cream from it. So we just, you know, we took the pulp out and we sieved it, and then we put it into the freezer. So we had a natural, like a sorbet type thing. It's just, yeah, that was lovely. Anything that I mean, what people have to understand, it's in my slides actually, is that we get so used to denatured foods. And when I say denatured, I mean they haven't seen the sun, so they're not sun ripened. And you can actually tell the difference in your body when you have the sun ripened fruits as opposed to the non-sun ripened fruits. Yeah.
Okay, well, I won't keep you any longer on this topic unless that's coming, like you said, some of them are coming up in the slides anyway. So at this point, without any further ado, we will introduce Joan Cornwall to the TTI Family Health Show platform on Zoom, and those of you who are watching on YouTube, and stay tuned.
Oh, I lost it. Sorry, I need this. That's it. That one. Let me get rid of this one. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Time for action.
Yep. So you can see the slide.
Yes.
Okay, so let me move this out of the way. How do I move this? Okay, good, it's up there. All right, so good afternoon, everyone. Just before I start, let me just say a quick word of prayer. Thank you, dear Heavenly Father, dear Lord God, that I'm able to be on this platform. I want to thank you for the TTI Family Health Show, dear Lord. They've been going for a long time. I'm just your servant, dear Lord, to help me, dear Lord. I'm a little nervous, but I pray that you'll bless me as I deliver and share some information that will be of use to the viewers. In Jesus' name, amen. So time for action, and I'm sure that most of you are wondering, what on earth am I talking about? What does it mean when I say time for action? And I remember when you know, Charlene asked if I would do a presentation on you know, spring, something for spring. And I know that Brother Scott did something last time, although it wasn't for spring, it was for the winter herbs. But we all know, especially in the United Kingdom, that the winter somehow extends into March. But what I didn't want to do was to then be another, you know, continuance of herbs. I wanted to take it from a different slant. That's what I wanted to do today. So as we look at 2024, we're in 2024, we are in the last month of the first quarter of March. And so we've just left 2023, but there's no doubt that we have been living in tumultuous times. Sharon, can I just confirm that you can see the presentation? Or Shirley?
It just says time for action. There's nothing else. If you've moved on from there, that's all we've got.
Yeah. Okay. So let me just.
You might need to share your screen again.
I'm going to share the screen again because what's happened is it says it's been paused, and I did not pause it. So sorry, everyone.
The other thing though, Joan, is when you go to share your screen, if you can, do you know how to disable annotation? If you can do that, or is that not?
No, I'm doing it straight from.
Okay.
I'm doing it straight from a. I'm doing it straight.
That's fine.
From another source. All right. So let me just go back in, everyone. So you know how they say, talk amongst yourselves until I get sorted. So Sharon and Shirley, and I'm going to ask you to just for 2 minutes until I go back in and get it.
Okay then. So Charlene, what did you have for lunch then? It's okay. It's fine. Don't worry. Yeah. So there's a few.
Don't worry, it's coming. It's
we have a few more faces on here that I haven't seen for a while. So welcome everybody. If you missed the initial welcome, it's great to have you on here, and we are looking forward to a great presentation today on Spring into Action. And if you missed the previous ones last month, we had on the, I think it was the 3rd of February or maybe the 2nd of February, we had a presentation by Scott Turner, and that was all about herbs to help with the immune system. So we have that and many others that you can find on our YouTube channel. So just go onto YouTube, type in True Temperance International, and you'll be able to find that. And if you know anybody that you'd love to see today's presentation, but they've missed it, it will be there. So God willing, we will be able to see and hear what is prepared for us.
Okay, can you see it now?
We can see it, but we can also see your notes.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just 1 minute.
That's okay. That's okay. You know, the more, sometimes the more problems you have, the more somebody doesn't want us to see it. Okay, we can see just the screen now with the calendar 2023 turning into 4.
Okay, and so can you see the next slide?
All I can see is the hand holding the calendar 23, 24.
Okay. All righty. I know what's happened. What I'm going to do is put it somewhere else. Everyone. So 1 minute, Sharon. Let me just put it somewhere else. Okay?
Okay. Not to worry. Okay, so before we began, we were talking about different fruits, and the one that came up that seemed to be like king of the fruits was the papaya. That has so many benefits, the leaves and the seeds, and obviously the fruit and all the content in there, the water, the vitamins, the minerals, everything that's in there. There's so much in there. And did you know, for those who just joined later, that you can use the papaya seeds? Because this is what I've just learned. So it's good to share. So at least somebody can say I've shared it now. that you can use the papaya seeds as an alternative for pepper, because the pepper can have adverse reactions on the gut. What did we say how it affects the gut? Pepper, black pepper, that is. It irritates the stomach lining, whereas the papaya helps to irritate the pesticides, the what do we call them? The parasites. It gets rid of the parasites, and it's going to be able to. It's also good for digestion, as I'm being prompted to say by Edgar. So yeah, so we have some amazing benefits of the papaya seed as an alternative, a much better alternative to black pepper. So that can be used in your food. Because if, like me, you are a bit cautious eating papaya seeds because of the pepperiness, you can save the seeds and dry them and use them for that purpose. So at the moment, Joan, we're just seeing your slides. We're not seeing notes, and it moved from time for action to the calendar. Hopefully that's helpful.
Okay, good. That's fine. All right.
Great.
So now you can see my slides.
Yep.
Sorry everyone for the mishap. Make sure you edit the YouTube, Edgar. All right, time for action.
That's down to Shirley.
Okay then, so time for action. So 2024, we've entered into 2024, we've left 2023. And what I wanted to do was to do a different slant on the presentation, because I know that we're in springtime and people will be looking at spring has sprung. So I'm going to show you some pretty flowers, which there's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to probably share some of the wonderful herbs that you can start foraging for in the springtime. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I can do that at the end. What I wanted to do is just for for us all to kind of reflect on 2023, and now we're entering 2024, and what's ahead of us, what's actually ahead of us. And for those of us who have been following the Family Health Show for a long time, I think they've now been going approximately 2.5 years, if I'm not mistaken. They've shared quite a lot of a wealth of information about health, about how you can look after your body. They've also done quite a number of cooking demos. They've actually shared a lot of spiritual nuggets, and of course we're now involved in the health conference. And what I wanted for us all to start thinking about is, what is my purpose and what should I actually be doing as I enter into 2024? That's really what I wanted us to think about, and I want us to think consciously about it. Because it's nice to go into all of the detail about cooking, how you can prepare meals, that's wonderful. The herbs you can take, that's absolutely wonderful. Sharing information about how you can best look after your spiritual health as well as your physical health. But I wanted us to really, really think about it, because there is no doubt we're living in very serious times, and health is wealth. So the mind and the body and the soul is intimately connected, mind, body, and soul. And we know that in 3 John, I think it's chapter 1, verse 2, he says, he wishes above all things. He says above all things that we prosper in health, even as our soul prospers. So the mind and the body is what makes our soul prosper. And that's what I want us to think about clearly here. Our mind is connected to the body. And of course, in the Pen of Inspiration, it says that 95% of diseases start in the mind, and that's quite profound, isn't it? So we need to start thinking about protecting our mind. We need to start thinking about protecting our body so that our soul can prosper, so that we can better connect to the Almighty, our God, our Creator. And our mind is under attack. I'm sure you can all agree with me. Our mind is under attack. What we've been through for the past few years, we could actually say 2019 was relatively a peaceful year and free year. But then when we get to 2020, we know what happened, during the pandemic. We found that we were not free. We had to stay indoors. that affected people's mental health, profoundly. A lot of people suffered mental health illnesses. A lot of situations were taking place in homes. A lot of children who were not able to go to school, the Samaritan hotline went up. People's minds started to be affected. And if you look at this screen right now, we have these little photoshots here. We need a change, and we know that the world has changed, and people are still saying we need a change. And so, we're going through various changes. A man can change to a woman if he wishes to. A woman can change to a man if she wishes to. A child can say they're a rabbit, and people can just change to anything they want. And that's the world we're living in. And that affects the mind, isn't it? You have stopped the war. In fact, you've got the strikes as well. We need change. Doctors going on strikes, consultants, junior doctors, nurses, railway workers, post office workers. Everyone seems to be striking left, right, and center because people want a change. We have the war going on. Stop the war. Never in my lifetime, and I'm decades old, never in my lifetime have I known of so many wars taking place in this world simultaneously. All over, there's war taking place, and yet people are still going about their business. You can still go on holiday, you can still go to work, and you're doing all of those things. There seems to be relative freedom, but we know that's really a false sense of freedom because we're now in the new normal, so to speak. We've got violence against everybody, male or female, and children. Homes are broken down. Homes are broken down to such a level. It's shocking, some of the things that you read in the newspapers. And as you can see on the bottom left, people are worried about their bills. Again, the mind is under attack, because if your mind is engrossed with trying to make ends meet, you start to become depressed. There's mental illness, anxiety levels go up because households, many are living on the breadline, many are living in poverty. You have the working poor, they've got their, they're working their monies, and it just doesn't seem to be going very far. Again, it's attacking the mind. Lord have mercy. How much more can we take? In fact, you have the middle earners, or the middle class, so to speak, is what they say. And you have a lot of people who have been working for years and years and years and years, and they still can't make ends meet, or their food bill doesn't seem to go as far as it used to. And so they're going to food banks. But then you've got the people who are going up to the age of retirement, who are now being told, hold on there. You won't be retiring by the time you're 60. Possibly to be 67, or it might be 71. And then straight away, oh Lord, what am I going to do? So all of these things are affecting the way people think, the way people behave, even in our own churches. For those of us online who are Seventh-day Adventists, for those of us who are faith, maybe you're not a faith and you're an atheist, but it affects every single human being on the face of this earth. Let me just let this person in. And this is what is happening. They have the food banks, and then who can forget pandemics? And then there's more to come. We should never be afraid, because in Mark chapter 12, Mark chapter 13, you've got Matthew chapter 24, you've got Daniel chapter 11, you've got Revelation chapter 13. All of these verses tell us that these things have to come to pass, but the end is not yet. So what I want us to do as children of the Most High, God, our Father, is to think about, well, how do I get through this? What is my responsibility? What is my responsibility as children of light? I'll call us children of light. We're beacons in a dark world. What is our responsibility as we go into 2024? So as you can see here, mental health support, mental health, or employees' mental health. Let me move this thing. So employees currently seeking mental health support. So you've got people at work and you think, great, I've got a job, I can make an income. But do you know there are employees, there are people at work who are suffering from mental health issues and they need support. Males, 25%. Look at that for females. 74% of females in the workplace are looking for mental health support. Maybe it's because they've got a dual role. They work in the day and they come home and they still have to work. Who knows? And then the 1% is the other. So mental health is on the increase. And these stats are of 2023. So it's not back, further back. It's actually 2023. And then you've got mental health and well-being in 2023. You've got anxiety. Individuals experience at least mild symptoms of anxiety, 60%. You've got stress. Individuals experiencing moderate to high levels of stress, 76%. And then you've got depression. Individuals experience at least mild symptoms of depression, 56%. These figures are quite high, aren't they? And this is the state the world is in. Children, adults, everyone is feeling it. Everyone is starting to think, my mind is under attack. How much more can I take? Simply because so many things are flying at us. If you're one of those that spend your time watching the news 24/7, you might be even more depressed because there's really nothing good on there anymore. It just brings people down because the world has become so violent. But these things have been prophesied already. So it should not be a surprise to the children of light. And then you have fight today for a better tomorrow. Fight today for a better tomorrow. Is there going to be a better tomorrow? I'm sure, you can say loudly, no. Hopefully you're not saying yes, because there is not going to be a better tomorrow, which is why, as we enter 2024, for those of us who have the skills and the knowledge, and we've been together on this platform for a long time, we should have the tools, or aiming to have the tools, to try to help these people who are looking to us. They're looking to us for a way to get through this period of time that is just attacking our mind, attacking our body, and attacking our soul. So now the body, I'm onto the body. So remember I said the mind, the body, and the soul intimately connected. We can't do with one without the other. Remember I said that? Listen, our body is under attack like never, ever before. I make no apologies. Showing the screen. Yes, I'm showing the screen. And remember, a disclaimer, if you are on medication, if you are on prescribed medication, you continue taking it, because this is not about coming off it just because you see the screen. What I wanted to do, though, is bring to your attention that many people in the world, but particularly the UK, because that's where I'm from, the United Kingdom, are dependent on medication. And the ones they're dependent on are antidepressants. They're dependent on sleeping tablets. And also they are dependent on medication to do with the mind, mind disturbances, for want of a better word. And what was profound in this research that I did, you've got women between the age of 55 and 74 who are dependent on the same drugs I've just talked about, the same drugs I've just mentioned. You've got females, and this is not a all female presentation, by the way, guys, I'm not saying that, but I just wanted to show you, I just wanted to highlight how many people are dependent on mind drugs. And the reason why it is profound and something for us to think about, because the next couple of slides will tell you this, is because it is due to the fact that we have severely mineral deficient people in our communities, severely mineral deficient people in our communities, probably even in our churches, I should say, because, the churches make up the community. That is quite stark and something for us to really, really think about. And all it is severe mineral deficiency. and it's a scientific fact. And it's about how can we then try to minimize the amount of meds that we're on for mind disorders. How can we try to do that? And I know there's a lot of research out there, and there were tests on prisoners that, you know, those who were involved in crimes, some heinous crimes, and there was a scientist who worked with a bunch of prisoners in research, and he actually asked for permission to change their diet and put them on supplements. And he said their behavior started to change. And I think this is what we have to think about. So as we, you know, as children of light, put on all of these programs, and we go through these types of programs, you know, these presentations, we have to also now take responsibility to share what we know to others, share it with yourself and your family and to others, because it's important to do that, because there are a lot of people out there who are suffering right now. So listen to this. Let me just share this with you. I picked this one up as part of my research. Our country, and when it says our country, it means the United Kingdom, by the way. It's all to do with the United Kingdom. Our country has become poor and unhealthy. Poor and unhealthy. Sadly, 1 million people die early. So the latest health statistics show that the NHS only contributes 20% to the nation's health. Let me repeat that. The latest health statistics show that the NHS only contributes 20% to the nation's health, because our well-being is mostly, so let's say, because the other 80% is mostly determined by our social circumstances. Okay, I should put this one in here as well. The NHS says that 66% of diseases that are presented to them, of all the diseases that are presented to them, for treatment, 66% are entirely avoidable, which means the onus is on us, does it not? Does it not? So if the NHS only contributes to 20%, the rest is social circumstances. So it depends on where you live. It depends on maybe your occupation. It depends on your age. It depends on, you know, whether you are employed and you make enough money. It depends on the area. All of those things are social circumstances, including ethnicity. You know, let's throw that one in there, including ethnicity. 20%, you know, NHS only helps with 20% of the nation's health. So let's think about the 80%, everyone. Let's think about that 80%. What's going on here? So does everyone remember this gentleman? You know, Sir Chris Whitty. Remember the pandemic, and you know, trying to get the nation back to normalcy in terms of health. And I won't go much into that because I'm sure there's a lot of information out there, and there's no need for me to pretend, you know, to repeat what took place. But this is what he said. This is what he said. Bearing in mind the role he played at the time, people should adopt old-fashioned ways of staying healthy. Okay, and as far as I remember, I don't think he is of faith or a Seventh-day Adventist. People should adopt old-fashioned methods to stay healthy as they get older, because falling sick is inevitable. Is that what he said? Did he say it's inevitable? No. He said because falling sick is not inevitable. And he's the most senior doctor. He said he's calling on people to take responsibility for their own health with what? Good diet and exercise, while he called on the government to do more to make healthy lives the norm. I'm sure one or two of you fell off your seats when you saw this, because remember the role that he played 4 years ago, actually, this month. Remember that. To now switch it back to, let's adopt old-fashioned ways of staying healthy. Now, we, as children of light, know about this, you know, following the 8 laws of health, God's commandments, his statutes, etc. We're in the blue zone as being the healthiest people on the planet. So we don't need anyone to tell us this, which is why I just wanted to remind you, now we're in spring, Now we're in a new year. Let's get into action. Let's get on and do what God has commissioned us to do. We don't need to depend on people in the world to tell you this. We know this. So if he's saying it and then I'm saying it, you know, come on, everyone, let's try to adapt healthier ways of living. Remember, I showed you the previous slides for those of you who just joined, the previous slides about how many people depend on mind drugs. And if you're on medication, please do not come off them. I'm telling you that. But what I'm trying to say is that a lot of the health issues that we have today is due to severe mineral deficiency. Our cells are not being electrified enough by the natural water, the natural foods, and especially the sunlight. And as you can see, you know, I'm talking about our body now. Our body is under attack. You know, you've got these things called appeal. Now, I've done research, and I didn't want to be, it would take up a whole presentation to talk about that on its own. But the appeal is like a film that is made from the seeds and the pulp and things of other fruits. And then including grapes that are, grinded for wine. And they use it and they make some sort of a powder that they put water on, and then they just skim it over the fruits and the vegetables. And so they last a whole lot longer. Erin and I, we bought some apples. Now in Trinidad, you know, there are no apples. You can't grow apples in the Caribbean. I believe it's pomerac. They call it pomerac. It's a type of apple. And so we went to a shop and a big fruit market, and we saw gala apples. Wow, there's gala apples in Trinidad. You know, let's try it. You know, let's have it. And you know, all these fruits, what amazed us was shiny. But really, if you have natural fruits and vegetables, they're not shiny at all. They're just not. They're not shiny. They look earthy. And so we bought the apples and we put it in the refrigerator in the chill box. And do you know how long those apples lasted? 2 months. How is that possible? In fact, we maybe ate 4 out of it and it was delicious, and then we just left the rest. And then we remembered that it was there and we thought, but look at it, it's still shiny, it's still well formed, there's no bruising on it. How is that possible? So we believe that it must have had some sort of coating on it, appeal, whatever it is. So we know our bodies are under attack. They've got different fruits and vegetables out there. I should actually stress that Great Britain and Europe say that they're not using the appeal on organic fruits and vegetables. They refuse to use it on organic fruits and vegetables, which means they must be using it on non-organic fruits and vegetables. And I believe that one of the major supermarkets did a trial of the appeal on their products. And then the trial ended, I think it was in the middle of last year, but they're tight-lipped as to whether they're going to be rolling it out to all of their stores. So our bodies are under attack. I just wanted to bring this one up for you as well. This is in Gloucestershire. Now in Gloucestershire, they have got their this indoor farm that has just opened up. And it's got maybe stacks and stacks and stacks of trays to the ceiling, and they only have LED light and some humidity to help make these vegetables grow. Mainly salads and herbs, I think, that they're growing. I think it's basil that they're growing, lettuce that they're growing. So these are the things that come in, you know, when you go into the supermarket and you see these lettuce, these leaves in bags, you know, that's exactly what they are growing. And I just thought I'd throw this one in there simply because we all know that it takes certain elements to grow fruits and vegetables, does it not? You know, I can't hear you all, but I'm sure that you are following me here. It takes air. No, it takes sunlight. It takes air. It takes moisture. And there's a fourth one. Air, sunlight, moisture, and the correct atmosphere, the correct temperature. Those 4 things it takes to grow fruits and vegetables. When it's grown indoor in an indoor farm, because the reason why it takes the sun, remember the natural vitamin D, then the plants make the chlorophyll, etc., all those wonderful things that electrify the cells. How on earth can you get that if you're growing the plant under LED lights indoors, as you can see on the screen? That's an impossibility. It absolutely goes against nature, does it not? And when you go into the news report of it, you can Google it. And when you go into the news report, they says it's an untraditional way of growing fruits and vegetables. That's what they're saying. So if they're saying it's an untraditional way, it's a posh way of saying unnatural. Let's face it, that's what it is. It's an unnatural way. And they're saying you can actually grow basil from seed to harvest in 18 days because of this untraditional method of growing basil and the lettuces and all of those other vegetables that they're growing indoors. Yet again, you could say that affects the mind, but it affects our body, because how on earth is your body going to get nature's natural distilled water, which comes in the fruits and the vegetables? Fruits and vegetables are made up of 85 to 95% of distilled water. And this is why it's important for us to be growing our own, so we can get the distilled water, so we can get the sun-ripened fruits and vegetables. It's very, very important. And that is why I started off by talking about the dependence on a lot of the drugs and medication for the mind and depression, anxiety, all of these things, because the body is not getting enough of those nutrients that electrifies the cells. That's why I wanted to share this with you. And here, and look at that, doesn't that look lovely? You know, I remember when Daddy had his allotment when we were growing up, and he would bring in peas and carrots. He would bring in callaloo, potatoes. I remember Daddy bringing in potatoes. Daddy grew corn as well. I'm talking about in the UK, by the way, in his allotment. And then we would sit there and he put the peas on the newspaper and we'd be stripping the peas, and it was a joy. Then Mommy would take the peas and she would blanch it and then put them in bags and put them in the freezer. That's how we remember Daddy bringing in a lot of the lovely stuff whilst we were growing up. And look at these wonderful children. This is what they're supposed to be seeing. This is what they're supposed to be doing. Unfortunately, we may be growing up in a time when children may never see a plant grow properly. They never see some of those foods that their parents buy from the store grow naturally. But look at that. That is the way it's supposed to be. In the Pen of Inspiration, it's about making sure children are out in nature and growing the foods. And when you grow the foods and you eat it, it's far different. You get pleasure out of eating your own food. Then on the top right, look at that. You know, you've got people growing, you've got cases of fruit, vegetables being grown in boxes. It looks lovely, it looks natural. And there on the bottom left, you've got, you know, polytunnels, and you've got all of these wonderful vegetables that are being grown. And I know that some of you on this Zoom presentation, you do grow your own. I know some of you grow your own, and I even know that some of you have your allotment, and it's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. You're supposed to be growing your own. And then you look at this lovely couple here on the bottom right, and they got their produce. You know, it gives you pleasure when you grow your own. Why would you then want, and you know, come on, it's about convenience, but why would you want to not grow your own? The reason why the UK imports a lot of its fruits and vegetables, and I think it's about 84%, between 84 and 87%, is because it's cheaper for them. And you can Google that, because I did some research on that. I was actually quite surprised at that. They says it's actually cheaper to import the fruits and vegetables in because they do not have the land space to grow all the products they need to feed the nation of the United Kingdom. And that is a fact. So that's why they import a lot of the fruits and vegetables, and a lot of them might be forced ripened, and a lot of them may have the appeal on it so that they don't deteriorate on their travels to the UK. So I thought I'd just put that one in there. So you've got this slide here. Now it's our soul. So I've done the mind, I then did the body, and now it's the soul. So if you look at this, are we Netflixers? Are we Netflixers in the top left-hand corner? That's what we do. That's really the only thing we know. You know, this poor unfortunate lady, she's sitting there and she's got a lot of weight on her. She's definitely suffering from metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome is when a lady is big on top, small on the bottom, or small on top, big on the bottom. And when I say the bottom, I mean the bottom half and the top half. And when you are that size, looking like that, you are more prone to diabetes type 2, high blood pressure, and some cancers. And that's why it's important, you know, as children of light, we try to reduce as much weight as possible. Is our soul suffering from, you know, because that's intemperance there, but is our soul also suffering from trying to get as much riches as possible? You know, is our mind on that? And of course, I'm not excusing the fact that there are people who are on the poverty line, you know, and you've got people who are working and they've got to go to food banks, etc. But I'm talking about the ones who are greedy. Is it just about getting more and more and more money? You've got money, but you want even more of it. Is it about, you know, the bottom left? Is it about working all the way through to the night, you know, just to get that money in? You know, are we eating a lot of junk food and things, you know, smoke that goes into our body and destroys the lungs? You know, are we looking at the pride of life, you know, lustful? You know, are we suffering from greed or slothfulness, envy, wrath, or gluttony? You know, we have to start thinking about protecting the avenues of our, you know, shielding the avenues of our soul, because this is what helps to destroy us. And what I wanted to do was to remind us as children of light that everything we have, all the knowledge and the skills, when we go into 2024, let us be a new you. Let us be a new you, a new me, a new you. You know, let us be the beacon of light in our neighborhoods, in our family, you know, put ourselves to work, and I'll show you how you can do that, you know. So it's no wonder with all of this onslaught on our mind, all of the onslaught on our body, all of the onslaught on our souls, our mind, body, soul, under attack, day in, day out, that people are now saying, where did I come from? You know, you see this lovely little baby, where did I come from? And this gentleman in the middle, you know, he's saying, why am I here? And then the other picture is, where am I actually going? And I'm hoping that we on this platform can answer these three questions. Where did I come from? Why am I here? Where am I going? Now, I can only speak from the perspective of children of light, from those of us who, you know, not just Seventh-day Adventists, but people who believe in God, and even those who know, and even those who aren't, like I said before, who don't go to church, who don't believe in God. They know something is not right in this world, in the way the world is. You are hearing people who never believed in God now believing that there is a power that has created this world. They know something is not right. And us, we can see the pangs, the labor pains, we know something isn't right. And hopefully we can answer these three questions. But we also have to help others answer these three questions. So what's my purpose? What's my purpose? Why am I here? What is my purpose? What is Joan's purpose? You know, what is TTI's purpose, or Shirley and Jonathan and Sharon and Edgar and Chris and Janine and everybody? You know, I'm talking about the TTI family. What is their purpose? What is the Association of Health Reformers' purpose? What is our purpose? Why are we here? And what should we be doing to actually lessen the effects of the attack on our mind, our body, and our soul? What should we actually be doing? Looking in the mirror, what do we see? Who do we see? Who do we see? Do we see someone who believes what is happening, but prefers to shield themselves away from it? Hopefully to wake up and the world is a better place. You know, there is a saying, I think it's in 1 John, but let me just put it in an easier term. You know, those who know the truth and doesn't live by the truth is a liar. Those who know the truth but doesn't live by the truth is a liar. I'm not calling anyone liars. It's in John. If someone can help me, it's in 1 John, but it's in a biblical It's in a biblical verse. The truth is not in him. I think it is, if someone can find it towards the end of my presentation. So what do we see? If we believe that we are living in serious times, then we should be doing something about it, should we not? Our health is paramount. Remember what John said, you know, I wish above all things that we are in health, even as our soul prospers. So our health is paramount, and our health involves the mind and it involves the body. And it is absolutely critical. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I've shown in the previous slides, they're creating, as I'm speaking, they're creating more elixirs. They're creating more elixirs, and they're creating food that will totally start to destroy this wonderful machinery that God has given us if we do not make steps to defeat that, which is through wonderful nutrition. And yes, you're saying, well, Joan, you just told us that they've created, you know, they've got this thin layer on the fruits and the vegetables and all those things. Let us try to grow as much as our food as possible, or source it. Source your organic fruits and vegetables consciously. You can do that, you know, if you can find local farmers that are still growing their things naturally, do that. You need to get as much nutrients from your food as possible. You need to electrify your body as much as possible. It's important. And yes, we have some supplements out there, and we have herbs that can actually do that. You know, that's why the herbs are wonderful. God has created the wonderful herbs that cleanses our bodies, get metals out of our body. It's important to depend on a lot of these herbs that grow naturally and like weeds. And yes, try and grow your vegetables, and try to get as much organic fruits and vegetables as possible. Let us exercise more. You know, it's important. You know, I know when I'm sitting down too long, you know, you feel a little ache, you know, get as much exercise as possible. It's important. And I know in the United Kingdom, it's a challenge. You know, we've had a serious winter. We're just coming out of a very serious winter. And, you know, my colleagues, TTI colleagues have just said it's still cold. It's about 6 degrees. That's really, really cold. You know, so, and we're in March. And so it's difficult to get outdoors and biking and all of those things and walking, because sometimes you don't have the energy, or you don't feel as if you want to do that because it's gray skies, but it's important to do that. So try and exercise as much as possible, and the sleep is so important, and the water. So I'm just reminding you as to what you need to do. Now people may say, oh gosh, Joan, it's easier said than done. I mean, really, you've just gone through all these slides, all these things are taking place in the world, and you're saying that to make it better, just eat more fruits and vegetables, exercise, and just sleep better and drink water. No, there is actually more to it than that, and I'm going to show you. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning to get you started. You know, this is just to get you started, but there's absolutely more to it than just this. This just helps your frame to do the work that God has for you. And that's what I want to remind everyone on this platform of. So yes, we know God's plan: godly trust, open air, daily exercise, sunlight, proper rest, lots of water, always temperate and nutrition, and it's all about the food. So we understand God's plan, we know all about it. And we know that this is what we're supposed to be doing. You know, in the Bible, it says, if you keep my commandments and all of my statutes, I will not, you know, hearken unto God's voice. I will not let any of these diseases affect you. And absolutely, that's absolutely correct. 100% correct. And that's what we should be doing. But this is what I wanted to share with you all. I wanted to share this with you. God has revealed what is to take place in the last days. That is, people may be prepared to stand against the tempest of opposition and wrath. Those who have been warned of the events before them are not to sit in calm expectation of the coming storm, comforting themselves that the Lord will shelter his faithful ones in the day of trouble. No, it is imperative that we make sure we are able to stand in these tempestuous times. I've shown you in the slides, you can see it in the newspapers, you can see it in the news, and please don't sit in calm expectation, expecting somebody else to do it. Don't sit in calm expectation, that actually I'll just let the world pass me by because the God I serve is not going to let that happen to me. It doesn't work that way. It takes two. You know, God expects us to work for him, and he will work for us. It's time for action, people. That's that is a title. Spring into action. It's time for action. It's time for us to take what we believe seriously. It is important. It is important. Our soul salvation depends on it. So how can you step into action? What on earth can you do? Okay. As you see these lovely pictures, you know, people are networking, people are out there, you know, handing out books, etc. Someone's offering a helping hand. A lady on the left, you can't see because of the, you know, the wording in the middle. She's praying. Someone's reading their Bible, and someone is doing some sort of therapy. We are to be as men and women waiting for their Lord, not in idle expectancy, not idly, but in earnest work, with unwavering faith. It is no time now to allow our minds to be engrossed with things of minor importance while men are sleeping. While we're sleeping, Satan is actively arranging matters so that the Lord's people may not have mercy or justice. And we experienced a bit of that in 2020, did we not? Not that I want to go back there, but remember where we were coming from. 4 years on almost. 4 years on almost. We must not sit in idle expectancy. We are to be working with unwavering faith. You see all this violence taking place in the world. You see people, you know, the wars that are taking place. You see atrocities everywhere. It's horrendous. It's horrendous. We are to have faith. We know why these things are taking place. Brother Chris, Remnant Connection, does a wonderful Bible study on Fridays on the Great Controversy. And I know there are people there who are understanding more and more about why these things are taking place, but what our role is while these things are taking place. The world is dependent on us. So how can we get involved? Okay, I'm going to read this to you. There is a message regarding health reform to be born in every church. The medical missionary work should be a part of the work of every church in our land. We have come to a time when every member of the church should take hold of the medical missionary work. The work of health reform is the Lord's means for lessening suffering in our world and for purifying his church. Teach the people that they can act as God's helping hand by cooperating with the master worker in restoring physical and spiritual health. This work bears the signature of heaven and will open doors for the entrance of other precious truths. There is room for all, not some, not a few, all to labor who will take hold of this work intelligently. There are stormy times before us, but let us not utter one word of unbelief or discouragement. Let us remember that we bear a message of healing to a world filled with sin-sick souls. So I've decided to put all of these here just to remind you of what our duty is. Health is indeed wealth. It is an entering wedge, and we are to be involved in it. No calm, not sitting idly on the fence. It's not sitting in calm expectation. We should all be a part of it. And for those of you, God bless you, who have been following us for a while now, I pray that you are growing continually in grace and you are sharing what you know with your family and your friends. I'm praying that that is the case. I'm hoping that everything that has been taught and you have listened to and you have watched, you're not keeping it to yourself. You are sharing it. There is no better joy than sharing what the knowledge that God has given you. You know, you see this lady, you know, medical missionary, she could be a medical missionary therapist and helping another lady. Do you know what humbles you more, people, as I'm talking to you all on this platform? And I know some of you know already. Do you know what makes you humble? It's when you actually look after others. That makes you humble. It does something to you. I just cannot describe it. When you hold a hand of someone that is crying, when you sit with someone and they're talking to you and you say, what do you want? And they say, I just want to be well. It does something to you. When you kneel down and you are massaging their feet or washing their feet in a basin, you know, when they're lying on a couch and you put a rag on their forehead and you put the feet in the water just to reduce the effects of headache, you know, when you send them information that they need to be well, and then they call you and they say, gosh, I'm feeling so much better, or there's some improvement, it just does something to you. And this is why it's important to get involved in this work, because you know what it does? It nourishes your soul. It nourishes your soul and it nourishes your mind, because you're actually involved in something. You are actively involved in something that is helping other people. I'm going to give you a prime example. There was a lady back in 2019, and she wasn't well at all. She wasn't well at all, and she's called me. I spoke to her, and there were a few issues going on. And I remember when I said to her, I don't want to tell you what to do, but the first thing I want you to do is to come off the meat. I said, come off the meat. And she says, why? And I told her why, because meats are hormone laden, absolutely hormone laden now. They inject so many things into it, you wouldn't be surprised. You'd be surprised. And I said to her, you need to come off the meat because the symptoms that you've described, and she sent me pictures of like a cyst on her neck, a couple of cysts on her neck and stuff like that, and the issues that she was having. And I remember when she said that was going to be one of the hardest things for her to do. But she tried, worked with her. Would you believe it? I'm here in Trinidad and I get a phone call. From this dear lady. I've subsequently assisted one of her daughters as well. But I got a call from her and she said, hi, Joan, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I just wanted to get some advice because I want to help this person who is not well. And it warmed my heart, you know. But she didn't realize what she was doing. She says, I just want to help this friend. And so I was giving her some information. And then I says to her, look at you. You know, 2019, you needed help. Oh, and she gave her testimony. She's been giving her testimony to other people of how she came off the meat. She changed her life around. She's eating naturally. And I says, but look at you now. You are now wanting to help others. And I says, look what God has done for you. But she didn't realize that until I reminded her. And before we came off the call, I said to her, I want to pray with you. I want to pray with you. Because do you know, you are now entering into the medical missionary work. You're entering into the medical missionary field. And so she says, yes, please pray. And you know, as I was praying, she started crying. She started crying. And when we had finished, she says, Joan, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Look how far I've come. This is what happens. The medical missionary work is the entering wedge. It brings people into the fold. It helps people to become more and more sensitive to what is happening around them and sensitive to the suffering of people. And you enjoy it. You enjoy it. So it's important for us to think carefully, consciously, as we enter 2024. Are we going to let 2024 pass us by? Let 2024 be the year that we do it. Let 2024 be the year for action. Let 2024 be the year when we start to help others. TT are involved in so many different things. It can make your head spin. They really are. They're out in the community. They're handing out books, you know, the Great Controversy, etc. It's amazing. God bless them, really. God bless them. God bless True Temperance International, because they do not sit down. They are always working and finding work. You know, they're not just working, they're looking for work. That's the way it's supposed to be. Because as time goes on, people who are, you know, skeptical at the beginning want to join forces. And that's how it works. And that's what God is expecting. We are God's helping hand. Jesus is not on this earth. We are. And we are supposed to be in the place to do what God has commissioned us to do. And like I said, I apologize for those of you who are not Seventh-day Adventists or not of faith, but I know Sunday worshippers now who are jumping on the bandwagon, because I speak closely to a couple of them who now want to be medical missionaries. So it's important that we think about 2024. Sorry, it's not an ushy-gushy type of presentation showing you pretty purple flowers and stuff like that. I didn't want to do that, because you know something, I know what's out there. I can see it. And I want to make sure other people see it. But more than that, I want people to understand that the only way we can get through it together is by following God's commandments, following the 8 laws of health, be conscious of what is taking place and knowing exactly what we're supposed to be doing during these times. So let me just read this to you before I hand back over to Sharon. This is in the way. So the present is a time of overwhelming interest to all living. Rulers and statesmen, men who occupy positions of trust and authority, thinking men and women of all classes have their attention fixed upon the events taking place about us. That is true, is it not? They are watching the relations that exist among the nations. That is absolutely true, is it not? They observe the intensity that is taking possession of every earthly element, and they recognize that something great and decisive is about to take place, that the world is on the verge of a stupendous crisis. The calamities by land and sea, the unsettled state of society, the alarms of war are portentous. They forecast approaching events of the greatest magnitude. The agencies of evil are combining their forces and consolidating. They are strengthening for the last great crisis. Great changes are soon to take place in our world, and the final movements will be rapid ones. And this is what we must remember. You can see what's taking place in front, and we have no excuse. Join the work, get involved in doing something in your neighborhood, get involved in being that ear for someone to listen to, because we can't do it on our own. And I'm telling you, Ellen White says, every member of the church should be medical missionaries. Thankfully, all of the TTI team trained as medical missionaries. From 2012, we were trained, and then continual training. Train as medical missionaries, because when somebody calls, they need help. Over here in Trinidad, what happened is I made sure I bought my golden seal root. I made sure I bought my charcoal, activated charcoal. I made sure I bought cayenne pepper. So I made them all into capsules. I made sure I brought some of my lung tonic over here, and I've used them all. I've used them all. I've seen, went to see a neighbor, one of our neighbors in the village, and she was supposed to be going somewhere, and a few of her friends dropped by. So Erin and I had popped by because I think we were dropping something off. I think she wanted some more bananas from us. And as we sat there, we started having a conversation. She says, something, Joan, my blood pressure can't go down. She's got type 2 diabetes. Another one said she's got health issues. Then this gentleman said he's got health issues. And then I was asking them what it was, etc., etc. And I was telling them some of the things I can implement and do. And then the long and the short of it is Errol had to go back. We're not far from them because they're like neighbors, went and got the stuff. And then I handed some out. And I said, how much shall we pay? How much can we pay? And I says, consider this a gift. The next time I come, I'll be charging just a little donation, but consider it as a gift. The lady that I spoke to, who suffers from high blood pressure and diabetes, eat meter. You know what she said? And she's got aches and pains. And she saw me and Errol the other day. She says, you know something? I have come off meat and I'm staying off meat because I'm finding that I feel a lot better. So what I'm saying is we are to be beacons of light wherever God has placed us in the world, wherever we go. Make sure you bring your natural remedies with you because you don't know when you need it. And I've used up all of my lung tonic because Trinidad was going through this spate of irritable and stubborn coughs, and I was very happy to be able to share that with those who were suffering from it. So that's my presentation, Sharon and Shirley. I hope I don't think I put anything else there. Yeah, that is it. That's the end of my presentation. I want to thank you all for listening. And I'm willing to take questions, although, I don't know what the questions might be, but let's just, if there's time, let's have a little chit chat about what we've just been going through.
Thank you so much, Joan. You have not failed to disappoint because you have brought us again some more gems of how we can spring into action what did you say? It wasn't some of the fluffy stuff, or I can't remember the exact terminology that he used.
I didn't want to do the ushy gushy stuff.
I said ushy gushy.
During the herbalist, she's going to tell us about lavender, and she's going to show us about. While I'm on that, now we're going to go into spring in the United Kingdom. Please go and pick your herbs in the fields before it comes to June or before the sun starts to scorch them. Get your natural remedies in for the winter. Go and forage with those weeds, your stinging nettle, your horsetail, your red clover, your dandelion, your burdock, your yellow dock. Some areas have mistletoe, some areas have milk thistle. Get them all in and dry them and keep them for the winter.
Thank you for that brilliant reminder there, Joan. Really appreciate that. And someone's trying to come in. Can someone let them in? Here we go. Thank you, Joan. Thank you. Yeah, brilliant reminder. And the text that you wanted to share with us, I did pop it in the chat. It was 1 John chapter 2, verse 4, which says, he who says, I know him, and does not keep his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him.
Yeah, and that's a very serious Bible verse, Sharon, and I don't think it should be taken lightly, because people will look at us and we're living testimonies, and so if we believe in the truth, we walk and we talk the truth. We walk, we talk, we look the truth. That's how it's supposed to be.
Serious. And that's not to say that if you're a medical missionary, you'll never get sick. Because I know for many people, they're spending a lot of time looking after other people that unfortunately they tend to be overwhelmed with the amount of work that's there, and need to exercise true temperance themselves and come apart.
You're absolutely right. You can get sick. It's how you recover. But also make sure that you do not stress yourself out to the point where you're exhausted and you can't help yourself, because the last thing you want is to be sick as a medical missionary. But it's how you recover. So yeah.
Thank you so much. And Veronica was asking which scripture. It was a scripture that Joan was alluding to earlier in the presentation. 1 John chapter 2, verse 4.
Yeah.
Right. So Joan invited anybody if they wish to unmute and ask questions, or I've not seen any questions in the chat. Have you, Shirley?
No.
No, she's shaking her head. I don't know if there's anything on YouTube. Is it possible to have a look on there? Let me just get my phone.
Let me have a look.
It's on the chair. Okay. In the meantime, let's see what else we've got in the chat. A few more comments. We have thanks for the passionate and motivational presentation. That's coming from another one of our sisters who presents on here, and Joan's colleague. She's also part of Association of Health Reformers, and both Joan and Lucille and many others will be there at Kefenlee. I will just share the up-to-date poster as well, because I've done that.
It's what I've noticed, Sharon. What I've been talking about, it appears to be making rumblings all over. I think it's that time when we're really supposed to be out there. And if anybody wants to go into medical missionary work, it's amazing. I would encourage you to learn it. I would encourage you to do your research. You can't beat it. You just can't beat it. And talking about herbs, Marcia Mendoza is going to be at the health conference in August. And she's a medical herbalist, and she also tutored medical doctors in the use of herbs. So she's going to be one of the presenters there as well. And herbs, regardless of what anybody says, herbs have never killed anybody. I'm sorry, but the natural herbs that God has given us, never ever. I've used herbs 100 times over. It's amazing. The herbs are amazing. It's how you use them. in moderation. There is nothing wrong with God's wonderful herbs. Absolutely nothing wrong at all. And I'm really looking forward to seeing many of you at the conference. It's our 3rd year. Sorry, Sharon, I'm taking it away from you. It's absolute.
Has Joan frozen, or is it just...
one of the nicest minded people? I'm sorry?
No, we just lost you for a moment. I wasn't sure if it was my signal going, dropping, or if it was yours.
No, sorry, it's mine. It just says my internet is unstable. I was just saying that it's one of the nicest experiences when you meet with like-minded people and you fellowship with them for a week. It's wonderful. It's enjoyable, and you learn so much. And you know, to know that there are people there who really seriously just wants to know more about the work. You know, they're asking about medical missionary work. They're asking about country living. All those things are going to be covered at the conference this year in August, by God's grace.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's not, and this is an opportunity where you can invite your friends as well. It's you know, you can invite your work colleagues, your family members, anybody really who's interested in health, which probably everybody, young and old. We'd love to see more young people getting involved, more young people attending and getting excited about real, true education when it comes to our health. So,
and they really need to book early to avoid disappointment, because last day we had to say there were literally no more spaces. Literally, there were just no more spaces. You know, we tried juggling, we tried knitting them up. There was no space, and so we just want people to understand that if they're coming, do not leave it. Don't be lastminute.com. You know, try to book in time and make preparation in time. You know, and so that you can enjoy it, because we enjoy every single time. Every single time, it never ceases to amaze me.
And no, you're not taking over, Joan. It's Health Reformers and True Temperance International. It's a joint effort. And so we want you to be comfortable as well when you come, because yes, we could pack you up like sardines, but we don't want to do that. You know, you're coming apart. You're resting a while. You don't want to be resting like, you know, you're packed in a tin of sardines, human sardines. I don't know what you want to call it. So you want to have a great time, and you will. And we pray that you'll be healthy and able to attend, because I know sometimes people book and then they fall ill and feel that they're not able, it's not suitable for them to come. But if you're a little bit poorly and you still want to come, you know, that's fine. We have many people on hand to help you in your ailments, or at least give you advice. We're not necessarily going to alleviate all your symptoms, but we can give you good spiritual and health advice. So I don't see any questions. Let me just have a look in the chat now, or if anybody would like to unmute. Was any of you like me? I was on the rebounder during that presentation because I just needed to get my circulation going. I couldn't sit here for the whole time. Sometimes I do and I regret it. So yeah.
And is it Sabbath? It's still Sabbath over here for me, but I think it's finished. Is it ended on your side yet?
No. So the prices are covered up at the moment, but if you go on the website, our different groups, you will see the prices.
I see what you've done. You put a blindfold on it.
Indeed, yeah. And so if you wish to come on our different groups, you will see the poster without the blindfold. But yes, their prices are very reasonable. Very reasonable.
Very reasonable.
It's a blessing.
We try to do it so that people can come. That's the way we're doing it, so that people can come. Yeah.
So it'll be a nice way to end the summer over here, and you never know, we may get an extension of the summer as well. Even if it's cold outside, it should be warm inside, and we'll teach you ways that you can things that you can do to boost that circulation. You know, when you get the cold hands and the cold feet, you know, there's things that you can put on, but there's things that you can do, such as rebounding and other things as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, Edgar. Yeah, he says cayenne pepper. That's it. That's his go-to every time, cayenne pepper, whether you're rubbing it on with some coconut oil and putting it on your
socks.
feet, in your
Yeah, you can put it in
socks.
your socks. Yeah, you can put
That's
cayenne
right.
pepper in your socks at night.
You can put it.
If you suffer from Raynaud's
Mhm.
syndrome, you can put cayenne pepper in your socks, and it'll
You
warm
can
up
put it in your water and drink it. But we're not talking about the high street strength cayenne pepper. We're talking about cayenne pepper that really gets your
90 to 130,000 heat units is what we're talking.
the strong stuff that gets your circulation going. And it's amazing. I mean, I know this isn't a talk about cayenne pepper, but as we're on the topic and there's no questions coming through, it's also something. It's amazing the way it works. It does two things. Well, it does more than two things. But if you're bleeding and you put cayenne pepper on, it will stop the bleeding. Isn't that amazing? If it's like, you've got a cut on your leg or something and it's not, still pouring.
As long as it's not a gunshot wound.
Well,
But
yeah.
anything more than that, it's good for.
Yeah, and then if you're clogged up and your circulation needs to flow, it will work the opposite way as well. There's other things that does that, like peppermint. It can help to warm you up, but it can also help to cool you down. It works with what your body needs. And
there's some lovely comments coming through. Thank you so much for the comments, because it spurs me on and it helps me to continue doing what I'm doing. Because I absolutely love it.
I'll stop the share.
I eat and breathe it, and I love it. People don't realize I absolutely love it. It just does something for me, and that's why I encourage people to do it, because it just helps you to understand the human nature. That's what it does. It helps you to do that. It just makes you more compassionate. Yeah, makes you more compassionate.
Okay, Charlene, I see we have another co-host as well. I just saw the top of her head.
Yes, she's with me.
Yes, Mummy's the host, and you're the co-host. Thank you.
Oh, Jamira. Yeah. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening. There are no questions, but there's some very encouraging comments. God willing, Earl's gonna hate me for saying this, but we're back in the UK in 2 weeks.
Oh. Can you hear Edgar laughing in the background?
So I'm looking forward to seeing everyone, and looking forward to hitting the ground running, because I'm going to be busy. I'm going to be busy. A lot of stuff that I need to be doing, and I know we've got a weekend event, I think, as well, coming up in Wales at one of the churches, and organising carefully, and I'm super duper looking forward to that.
Me too.
Super duper looking forward to that, and looking forward to seeing if anyone can make it from this platform to Kefani. Looking forward to meeting and greeting you and giving you a hug. That's what I'm looking forward to, if you can make it. You will not be disappointed, because it's not our work, it's God's work, and he has always blessed us with it, and you will be blessed.
Amen. Thank you, Lorna. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, everybody. And yes, Barbara was saying cayenne also helps with a heart attack and stroke.
It certainly does. I think Lucille remembers that one, when we put cayenne pepper tincture under someone that was literally fainting away. She was like out of it. And putting cayenne pepper tincture under the tongue. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. These are the things that people should be carrying in the purse. If you can, you and Shirley, you both have this. I know you're looking at Eggy saying, "Tell Joan that it's time now to go."
No. I was looking at the screen because you're on my TV monitor as well as on my laptop. So I was looking at the screen.
Carry your cayenne pepper. Carry your peppermint, essential oils, peppermint, oregano, eucalyptus,
lavender,
tea tree, clove, lavender. Make sure you carry those. Those are excellent.
Frankincense.
And then frankincense, if you can afford it. And then and then your cayenne pepper, and that's what I carried to Trinidad.
Charcoal.
And charcoal, because I burned myself. I'm not going to. I burned myself when I was preparing the Trinidadian meal, and I'm not Trinidadian, so I just didn't do well. Let's say I just left something too hot, and I touched it. And you know what helped, Sharon? The lavender.
I knew the lavender.
The
Queen
lavender
of
and
the essential oils.
the tea tree to stop infection.
Mm.
Those were the two I used: the lavender oil and the tea tree to stop infection. Amazing. So yeah, and then and then I had, you know when you get dehydrated, because this sun just strips you of moisture, and so you have to constantly drinking. And because I wasn't drinking enough, I developed a UTI, a urinary tract infection. And what I did, I started to put my phone back onto the hour interval. So every hour I drank water. And I used my golden seal capsules that I brought with me, my little stash of emergency kit. It cleared it up. So this is why, as medical missionaries, carry everything you need with you when you're traveling, or even when you're at home in the UK and you're just going about your business. Carry it all the time. It's important because you never know when you need it.
Indeed. I actually met a student at church today and told her about the ministry that we're doing, the family health show. And she said, "Oh, so you believe in golden seal as well?" And she was so excited. So yeah.
Golden seal is a catch-all. It's one of the, I think Veronica's on here, Veronica Williams, she knows about golden seal. It's one of the best herbs that you can ever put your hands on. Golden seal is a catch-all. Anti-everything. Anti-everything. Golden seal.
Amazing. Barbara's saying when her colleagues get sick at work, they come to her. They tell me, they tell everywhere, I'm a herbal pharmacist and we all work with the NHS.
Oh,
yeah, I can relate to that.
Praise God, Barbara. Praise God. That is excellent. That is exactly what you do. There are nurses in the NHS who are, working hard and they're looking after the patients. And then they are like medical missionaries as well. God has some of his angels in the NHS, I have to say.
There are, definitely. There are some skeptical ones.
I know that personally.
There are some skeptical ones, like someone I know very well who tells me that I'm he calls me what did he call me? A drug pusher because I'm telling him to take oregano.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't believe that. I never thought that one day I'd be telling you this, Sharon. I'm like, it's a natural remedy. You use it, you have it with your pasta. You have it with your pasta.
Share what you know. That's important. Share what you know.
You have it with your pasta, but there you go. Not everybody's willing, and that's the thing. Just because people reject these gems, we still befriend them. We still try and live with the example of our lives, and hopefully one day they'll understand as well, and they'll one day take it on board. Right. Well, we've kept you for long enough, and Joan, someone's asking for a list of what we should carry with us. Okay, so if you're quick, if you're speedy, type this down, or you can replay the video on YouTube.
In the essential oils, peppermint, eucalyptus, tea tree oil, lavender, oregano are the essentials. And clove. Those are the essential oils that you should carry with you all the time because you never know when you may need it. Tea tree is excellent for infections, to prevent infections. And then if you in your little bag, put cayenne pepper tincture in there or cayenne pepper powder. But you'll find that if you carry those things, they are amazing. Someone had a little, what do you call them?
Keyring pouch.
No, the ringworm.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Ringworm. And I had gifted them, the key ring.
Yeah.
Oil. And in it had those oils I mentioned, apart from clove, and it had the tea tree. I says, go in there and get the tea tree, and I want you to put it rub it on there, because tea tree is very good for ringworm. Yeah.
Yep. A
Or
list of,
no, let me rephrase that. Tea tree is good in helping towards reducing the effects of ringworm.
okay. Someone calls it a natural first aid kit.
Yeah, it's a natural first aid kit. There are other things you can put in there as well. But that's, I mean, Lobelia is good. If someone is having, you know, breathing issues, you just put a couple of drops in the eucalyptus oil in the palm of their hand. They rub it hard and then just and breathe it in. That's very good. So yeah. All right, and lavender can help you sleep. You can, as you and Shoni mentioned before, you can put a drop of that in your tea, your herbal tea, helps you sleep better. So there's a lot of things. I don't want to go too much into it. But yeah. Anyway, I
Right.
could
So,
talk forever, so you better stop it now.
okay. So if I ask for your final comments, the final comments will be the first aid kit. Is that okay?
The first aid kit, and go out and forage for the herbs that will be
Yes.
coming up in the UK towards the end of March. Between March and June, try and get your herbs in. You know, the weeds, the ones they call weed, and they put weed killer on it, they're the medicine. Red clover, so go for your red clover, your cleavers, your horsetail,
Nettle.
go for your dandelion, your burdock, your yellow dock, mistletoe.
Stinging nettle.
Did I mention cleavers?
You have now.
And stinging nettle. All those things, trust me. Remember Marcia did a CBD? She did a CBD. Oh, and dandelion. She did cleavers, burdock, and dandelion. It was a CBD. You've got it in on your YouTube.
Yeah. I remember.
That's what Marcia did. The CBD, because cleavers, excellent. Burdock and dandelion.
That's what she did. Those three. And
those three.
So if anyone's wondering, you can go onto our YouTube channel and search, just type in CBD and or type in Marcia Mendoza, or just have a browse through and see what else in there takes your appetite, your desire to learn more about. There is so much in there. And several other presentations from Joan as well, including the feet. I remember that one was brilliant. And I think it was
Sharon,